Hey, hey! With the latest patch, we saw quite a few cards get a buff, and I'm excited to talk about 3 decks that you can try. These decks will definitely catch your opponent off guard. All 3 of these decks received some love, and as a result, all 3 are going to perform at a decent level. Deck codes for the decks will be available in the description. Also, don't forget to like the video and subscribe. With that, we're jumping straight into the Mage. This looks to harness the power of the recently buffed Hero Power archetype. Typically what we want to do with this deck is just increase our Hero Power damage as quickly as possible, and that's the way the deck has been built. 2 Wildfire and 2 Ruined Orbs are the only spells that are in the deck, while at the same time we're running Star Scryers and Dungeoneers to try to tutor those spells. I've also included 2 copies of Wand Thief and Wand Maker, and 1 Venomous Scorpid. That gives us the possibility of generating additional wildfires. Also, the ability to generate just cards to get us out of a jam when we really need it. Lore Keeper Polkelt gives us a way to guarantee that we draw Alex and Mordresh. Pretty much the goal here is going to be to control the board and buff and use your hero power. We want to make sure that we get Mordresh online at least by turn 8, so that if we have him in hand, we can play him, get the big 10 damage effect. Alex and Mordresh are the heavy-hitting finishers in the deck. Those are kind of the cards that we want to play to, looking to close out the game. 2 copies of Rustrot Viper included in the deck, almost exclusively for the tradable tag, just to be able to look for cards that we would rather have in hand. But they're also going to improve the Weapon Rogue matchup. You're not going to see it very much, but Mage has, in my experience, a 0% chance to beat Weapon Rogue without the Vipers in the deck. So you may not see the matchup. If you do, at least you don't have a 0% win rate in that matchup. I'm not even kidding. If you don't have Vipers in your deck, and you're a Mage, and you come across a Weapon Rogue, save yourself some time and concede on the spot. I guarantee you'll be happier for it. In the mulligan for this deck, want to look for Wildfire, Ankrik, Star Scryer, and Frostweave Dungeoneer. Second deck is a Beast Buff Hunter deck. Try saying that 3 times fast. Oh, it's really not that hard. This deck attempts to swarm the board just with buffed beasts. Multiple ways to be able to buff your beasts in the deck, and then also to be able to shuffle additional copies of those beasts back into your deck, specifically talking about the Warpletingers and the Pack Mules. It's not uncommon, turn 5, turn 6, to have a board that's, 5, 6, 7 minions wide, and sometimes, your Warpletingers or Pack Mules can have 5, 6, maybe even 7 attack. It's crazy how you can go wide and just go tall as well. Keep in mind here that the Warsong Wrangler is often going to act as a kind of like a mini Arbor Up. You could think of it as the Druid card Arbor Up. You have a wide board, either Warpletingers or Pack Mules, Warsong Wrangler. Pick the one you have the most of on the board, and you're going to get the buff immediately that same turn. In the mulligan here, you want to look for Leatherworking Kit, Selective Breeder, Scavenger's Ingenuity. Draw your beasts, buff your beasts, go wide, and just destroy your opponent. Super fun and really surprising when you can get this kind of combo-y deck off, on turn 5, turn 6. Third deck to take a look at here is a warrior deck that utilizes the 3 buffed pirate cards without playing the underpowered warrior quest. The warrior quest, it was actually a card that I was expecting to receive a buff. I feel like it needs a buff because Quest Warrior just isn't strong enough. It takes a little bit too long to activate the quest, and then when you play the quest reward, you don't actually get anything out of it until the following turn. So, you compare it to the Mage quest. The Mage, play the 7/7, you immediately have that +3 spell power that you can take advantage of on the same turn. Same when you think about the Warlock quest. You play the 7/7, now your opponent starts taking damage that, would normally be done to your own hero. Not so with that Warrior quest. The Warrior quest, you play the 7/7, you summon the Juggernaut, and then it sits there for a turn and doesn't do anything. So not only is it, the second slowest quest to complete behind Priest, but then you also don't get the effect immediately on that same turn. It's just too slow. But these 3 buffed cards, you can actually fit into a more aggressive warrior deck, and really just go face with them, man. Utilize those extra stats on those cards and go face. Seriously, this is a face deck. It's aggressive. We want to take initiative early and go face. Can't get any easier than that. So kind of your reasoning when you're playing this deck is going to be, I need to hit my opponent in the face with whatever minions that I have on the board. And then you try to find a compelling reason to trade. Do I need the trade? Can I potentially, keep a minion or 2 on the board an additional turn longer to be able to get extra face damage? That's kind of how you want to think about playing this deck. Most of the time, the answer is just go face. And because of that, the deck is going to be, kind of forgiving, even if you make the wrong choice. It's not going to hurt your win rate too awful bad. In the mulligan, you're going to want to look for the Bloodsail Deckhand, Warsong Envoy, Harbor Scamp, Whetstone Hatchet, and or Stormwind Freebooter. Again, just looking to take the board early and really be able to go face. Also included in this deck, there's a couple of ways to be able to buff your minions. Whetstone Hatchet, give an attack to cards in hand. Also, conditioning gives us a way to be able to buff our cards in hand. And then we have Rakara that will actually allow us to buff minions that are on the board. And then also Overlord Runethak, allowing us to buff cards in hand. So the cards are going to be bigger than they should be. They're just going to be slapping face, man. Another fun deck if you like aggro. I like aggro decks. I like quick games. I'm not one of these people that wants to play a 20-minute control matchup. I think it's super fun, man. Just go face. And even in aggressive matchups where having the trade, I still think that's more fun, playing almost like control aggro versus aggro decks, if you can kind of understand what I mean. It's just fun. Who doesn't like having fun? That's what it's all about. So there it is, 3 decks to try in the new patch. What do you think? Did I miss anything interesting? Is there something else new out there maybe I'm not aware of? Are these decks built correctly? Let me know what you think in the comments. Good luck on the ladder. As always, have fun.